Hello everyone. Welcome to the video course English File Pre-Intermediate 4th edition, episode number 10, unit 3, part C. It's called Word Games. I find this lesson extremely useful. It's all about how to say things in a different way. Paraphrasing, I mean. It is an important skill to practice. I'd like to say that it helps you build your fluency. I hope you have some energy to work and learn new things today. So, let's start our lesson. Part A, reading and listening. Do you like playing word games like Scrabble or doing crosswords? Let me show you what Scrabble is. Originally, it is a board game, something you can touch and interact with. But there are a lot of variations of this game you can find online, of course. It is a quite popular game, and many of you have probably heard of it. But if I start talking about rules and things, it will take a lot of time to finish. So if you want to know what this game is about, you can pause our lesson and check it on the internet. Speaking of crosswords, we have this word in Russian, so I think it is clear. As usually, I'll answer these questions first, then you do it. Personally, I use such games to fall asleep. I don't know why, but doing crosswords makes me feel very sleepy, especially if I play such games in my native language, of course. It is strange, but I relax when I play word games. Now, what about you? What do you think of such games? Do you like them? Do you play them? Do you think they are useful? Maybe for your brain and something like that? What can you say about it? Part B. Read about a game show. Is there a similar show in your country? Have you ever seen it? Let me explain something first. The text you're going to read isn't easy. There will be some new words for you, like contestants, presenter, definition, and so on. Let's do it this way. The first time you read, you use only your intuition and you just try to get the main idea of the article of this text. Before the second task, I'll give you a list of words to learn. Now read the article quickly and answer the questions. Is there a similar show in your country? Have you ever seen it? A to Z. In this game, there is a wheel with 25 letters of the alphabet, not including X. The aim of the game is to complete the alphabet wheel by saying the correct word for each letter in 5 minutes. The presenter gives the contestant definitions for words starting with the letters. For example, A, the place where you catch a plane. Airport. To start the game, the presenter reads a definition for a word which begins with A, and the contestant has to quickly say the word. If the contestant can't think of the word, he or she says pass. When a contestant passes or gets a word wrong, the presenter goes on to the next letter. The presenter continues round the wheel to Z. then starts from the beginning again. The presenter repeats the definitions that the contestant passed on or got wrong until 5 minutes is up. If a contestant gets all 25 words right, he or she wins the prize. Before we have a look at the second task, study the following vocabulary that you can see on the screen: a will, a letter, the aim, complete, a presenter, a contestant, a definition, quickly, round, time is up. Study the following vocabulary. Now, part C. Read the text again, then cover it and answer the questions. Number 1. What is the aim of the game? So, what is the main idea of the game? Number 2. How long do contestants have to say all the words? So, how much time do they need to do it? Number 3. What is the example definition and word for the letter A? No comments here. Number 4. What happens if the contestant doesn't know the answer? He or she says something. You will find it in the article. And number 5. How does the contestant win the prize? So they need to do something to win. What do they need to do to win? The contestants, I mean. Now, read and listen to the article again, and then answer the questions. A to Z. In this game, there is a wheel with 25 letters of the alphabet, not including X. The aim of the game is to complete the alphabet wheel by saying the correct word for each letter in 5 minutes. The presenter gives the contestant definitions for words starting with the letters. For example, A, the place where you catch a plane. Airport. To start the game, the presenter reads a definition for a word which begins with A, and the contestant has to quickly say the word. If the contestant can't think of the word, he or she says pass. When a contestant passes or gets a word wrong, the presenter goes on to the next letter. The presenter continues round the wheel to Z, then starts from the beginning again. The presenter repeats the definitions that the contestant passed on or got wrong until 5 minutes is up. If a contestant gets all 25 words right, he or she wins the prize. Let's see the answers. I'll just voice them for you. What is the aim of the game? To complete the wheel by saying the correct word for each letter. Number 3. What is the example definition and word for the letter A? The place where you catch a plane, airport. That was the example. Number 4. What happens if the contestant doesn't know the answer? He or she says pass and the presenter goes on to the next letter. And number 5. How does the contestant win the prize? They get all 25 words correct. I hope you get these answers right. Now, let's move on. Part D. Victoria is a contestant on the show. She has passed on 6 letters. and she has 90 seconds left. Listen to the last 6 definitions. When you hear a ping, like beep, write the word. So let's make it clear. 6 definitions, 6 beep sounds, and try to guess the word. Not to guess, but to understand it from the definition. Just do it.
Okay, it begins with B. It's an adjective for a man who has no hair on his head. Right. It begins with C. It's an adjective. It describes a place where there are a lot of people, for example, a restaurant or a beach in the summer. Right. It begins with G. They're things which people wear on their hands. Right. It begins with K. It's the room where people cook. Right. It begins with L. It's an adjective for someone who doesn't like studying or working, for example. It's the opposite of hardworking. Right. It begins with T. It's a thing which you use in an airport to help you with your cases or in a supermarket to put your shopping in. Just 3 seconds left. Okay, it begins with B. It's an adjective for a man who has no hair on his head.
Bald.
Right. It begins with C. It's an adjective. It describes a place where there are a lot of people, for example, a restaurant or a beach in the summer.
Crowded.
Right. It begins with G. They're things which people wear on their hands.
Gloves.
Right. It begins with K. It's the room where people cook.
Kitchen.
Right. It begins with L. It's an adjective for someone who doesn't like studying or working, for example. It's the opposite of hardworking.
Lazy.
Right. It begins with T. It's a thing which you use in an airport to help you with your cases or in a supermarket to put your shopping in. Just 3 seconds left.
Trolley.
Congratulations, Victoria. You've done it.
Oh, great!
Теперь быстренько переведем данный текст и аудиозапись вдобавок. A to Z. То есть вот у нас игра или от А до Я, если перевести на это на кириллический алфавит. Так, в этой игре есть колесо с 25 буквами алфавита, не включая букву X. Точнее, X. Цель этой игры, чтобы завершить или заполнить алфавит, вот это алфавитное колесо, давайте так дословно, с помощью того или сказав правильное слово для каждой буквы за 5 минут. Это в целом дается 5 минут. Ведущий дает участнику определение для слов, которые начинаются с букв. Вот, например, с буквы A определение такое, типа место, где вы можете сесть на самолет. Либо, поймать самолет, сесть на самолет. Это у нас аэропорт. Чтобы начать игру, получается, ведущий читает у нас определение для слова, которое начинается с A. И участник, получается, и участнику нужно, либо необходимо быстро сказать слово. Если участник не может, получается, can think of the word, ну, то есть понятия не имеет, что это за слово, или не может отгадать слово, придумать слово, он или она говорит pass. Когда участник, ну, пасует, можно вот так вот перевести, или, получается, делает ошибку, gets a word wrong, то есть получает слово неправильно, дословно, ну, делает ошибку, по сути. Ведущий продолжает, ну, то есть переходит или продолжает к следующей букве. Дальше ведущий продолжает вот это вот все дело, то есть round the wheel to Z, то есть продолжает вот так вот идти по колесу до буквы Z, затем начинает сначала снова. И получается у нас ведущий повторяет определение, которое, получается, участник пасовал, либо спасовал, либо получается, неправильно, с ошибкой. Так, пока 5 минут не истекут. То есть until 5 minutes is up. Помните, time is up у нас было это слово, пока 5 минут не закончится. Когда участник, ну давайте я буду получать вот так вот. То есть когда участник получает все 25 слов правильно, он или она выигрывает приз. Знаете, вот такой вот у нас здесь текст. Теперь к аудиозаписи. Так, ну эти буквы я не буду читать. Понятно, что кто чего говорил. Сделаю это побольше. Начнем. Окей. Это начинается с буквы B. Это прилагательное, которое означает мужчину, который, получается, не имеет волос на его голове. Это у нас bald, то бишь лысый. Правильно. А это начинается с буквы C. Это прилагательное, это описывает место, где есть много людей, например, ресторан или пляж летом. Он отвечает crowded. Не помню точного перевода, всегда вот для слова crowded. Crowded — это просто прилагательное, обозначающее место, где много народу, то есть как-то затолплено. Вот так вот. Crowd — это толпа, как бы из нее сделано прилагательное, то есть много народу в этом месте. Crowded. Так, правильно. Так, а это у нас начинается с буквы G. Это у нас вещи, которые люди носят на их руках. На их руках. Ага, на своих руках. Gloves, перчатки. Правильно. А это начинается с буквы K. Получается, это комната, где люди готовят. Ну, это kitchen, кухня. Правильно. Это начинается с буквы L. Это у нас прилагательное, ну, которое обозначает кого-то, кто не любит учиться или работать, например. И это противоположное по значению усердный. Lazy, ленивый. Правильно. А это у нас начинается с буквы T. Это вещь, которую вы используете в аэропорте, чтобы помочь, ну, себе имеется в виду, чтобы с вашим багажом, или, например, в супермаркете, чтобы туда сложить свои покупки. И у вас 3 секунды остается. Вот это just 3 seconds left. Когда стоит left в конце, после времени, это имеется в виду, сколько осталось. Trolley. Trolley — это тележка. Congratulations, Victoria. То есть мои поздравления. Или поздравляю, Виктория, вы это сделали. О, замечательно. Вот такая вот была аудиозапись здесь. Все, можно идти дальше. Number 2. Grammar. Defining relative clauses. Part A. Look at 3 of the definitions Victoria heard in the show. Complete them with who, which, or where. It describes a place. Beep, there are a lot of people. It's an adjective for a person. Beep, doesn't like studying or working. It's a thing. Beep, you use in an airport to help you with your cases. Now listen to the examples given here.
3.16. 1. That's the woman who won the lottery last year.
A chef is a person who cooks food in a restaurant.
2. A clock is something which tells the time.
Is that the book which won an important prize?
3.
A post office is a place where you can buy stamps.
That's the restaurant where I had dinner last week.
We use defining relative clauses to explain what a person, thing, or place is or does. Number 1, use who for a person. Number 2, use which for a thing. Number 3, use where for a place. The verb after where needs a subject, for example, you. We can also use which to talk about a place, for example, a post office is a place which sells stamps. And we have a box here with that. We can use that instead of who or which. She is a girl who or that works with my brother. It's a thing which or that connects to computers. Again, rules are rules. They're good. But we need some practical things, yeah? Let's move on to the exercises. Exercise A. Complete the definitions with who, which, or where. I hope it will be easy for you. And part B. Write sentences with who, which, or where. Here it's a little bit more difficult. You see, she, the woman, catch the same bus as me. She's the woman who. The woman is a person, so she's a woman who catches the same bus as me. The dog always barks at night. You see, you can say that is the dog which always barks at night. Something like that. Now do these exercises, then check yourself. Everything as usually. Let's go. Now let's do these exercises together. Part A. Complete the definitions with who, which, or where. A postman is a person who brings you your parcels and letters. And number 1. An octopus is an animal, yeah? So it's which. An animal which lives in the sea and has 8 legs. Number 2, a lawnmower is a machine. Again, it's a machine, it's a thing which cuts the grass. Here. Number 3, a surgeon is a doctor. Doctor, it's a person, so who does operations? A changing room, okay, number 4, yeah? A changing room is a room where, so it's a place where people try on clothes. Number 5, a porter is a person who helps you with your luggage. Number 6, garlic is a kind of food which, again, food, it's kind of thing which keeps vampires away. Oh, that's a strange thing here, but okay. And number 7, a garage is a place, again, it's a place where mechanics repair cars. That's all here. As I told you earlier, this exercise is quite easy. I hope you got all the answers right. So, the second exercise, we need something to write on. Write sentences with who, which, or where. That's a lot of writing. She is the woman who catches the same bus as me. Number 1. Let's go. That's the dog which always barks at night. Number 2. That's the shop that's the shop where I bought my wedding dress. Number 3. He's the actor who was in the last James Bond film. Number 4. Something like that. They are the children. Again, children who live next door to me. Number 5. This is the restaurant, where they make great pizza. Number 6. That's the switch which controls the air conditioning. Yeah. Number 7. He's the teacher who teaches my sister. That's all. And number 8. That's the room where we have our meetings. Yeah, exactly. And number 9, the last one. This is the light. It's a thing, so this is light which is broken. This one is not difficult at all as well. So now you got the answers, look at it, and let's move on. Part 3. Vocabulary, speaking, paraphrasing. Part A. What do you usually do if you're talking to someone in English and you don't know a word that you need? Oh, it's a bad situation to be in. A. Look up the translation on your phone. B. Try to mime the word, like with your hands and face sometimes. And C. Try to explain what you mean using other words you know. By the way, I use all of these techniques. And I've heard many times in my life that teachers must use only B and C options and avoid giving the translation. But you know what? It sometimes saves so much time you can't even imagine. And as you know, time is valuable. Only one thing I want to add here. If you want to feel comfortable while you're speaking, it's better to master the option C. Try to explain what you mean using other words you know. Instead of learning millions of words, you can use just a couple of thousands and be a very good speaker. Now, let's have a look at a very important exercise. Exercise B. Complete the useful expressions with these words, then listen and check. Example: kind, like, opposite, similar, somebody, something, somewhere. Useful expressions for explaining a word that you don't know. It's who shows you around a city or museum. So you see the word who here. So it's somebody who shows you around a city or museum. I hope you will get everything correct. Let's go.
– 3.17. 1. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. 3.
1.
It's somebody who shows you round a city or a museum.
2.
It's something which we use to pay instead of cash.
3.
It's somewhere where people go when they want to send a parcel or a letter.
4.
It's a kind of fruit. It's long and yellow.
5.
It's the opposite of expensive.
6.
It's like a sweater, but it has buttons.
7.
It's similar to a wallet, but it's for a woman.
8. It's a verb. For example, you do this to the TV when you've finished watching something.
What are the words for definitions 1 to 8? Now try to guess all these words. Then just check yourself. Part D. Complete the definitions for these words. A DJ is somebody who an art gallery, it is somewhere. A camera, it's something. A passport, it's a kind of something, yeah. Sunbathe, for example, you do this when and curly it's the opposite of I don't want to spoil you the pleasure here. Now complete the definitions for these words, then check yourself and keep it in mind that my answers are possible answers. You can do it a little bit differently. So it's okay if you use some different words. It's completely okay. Try to do this task, then check yourself. Again, it's possible answers. Your answers could be different. A DJ is somebody who plays music on the radio or in a club. An art gallery is somewhere where you can see paintings. A camera is something which you use to take photos. A passport, it's a kind of document which you need if you travel abroad or to another country. Sunbathe, for example, you do this when you are on the beach or when you go to the beach. It depends. And curly, it's the opposite of straight. Straight is like straight hair, and curly, not straight. I hope you got this idea. So now let's move on. Part E, I love this part. Play A to Z or A to Z with letters A to E, like A, B, C, D, E. Think of a word which begins with each letter and write a definition for each word. Then work in groups of 3 or 4. Start with A and read your definition. Do the other students know the words? Okay, we'll do it differently, of course. We aren't in a classroom. That's why we need to come up with something different. Just write 5 words and define them this way. Let me give you my examples, then you do the same. It begins with A. It's a thing you drink a lot on Fridays. It's alcohol. It begins with B. It's opposite of small. It's big. It begins with C. It's a place where you can drink coffee and have a piece of cake. It's a coffee shop. It begins with D. It's a verb. For example, you do this when you hear really good music that makes you move. It's dance. And it begins with E. It's a type of a book that you can read on your phone or on your tablet. It's an e-book. Write down 5 words, then try to define them like I did. It's a very good exercise, so don't skip it. Part 4, pronunciation, silent E. Silent E. Oh, a lot of words here. We have E at the end of a word is normally not pronounced, but it usually changes the sound of the vowel before it. When a word ends in silent E, the preceding, it means the letter before, the preceding vowel sound is usually the same as that letter of the alphabet. Oh, for example, sit, sight, fat, fate, and stuff like that. Now, if you didn't understand anything here, it's okay. Let's have a look at some examples and practical exercises. Part A. Look at 2 definitions. What are the words? How does the pronunciation of the first word change when you add an E? Number 1. It's a thing which you wear on your hand. Number 2. It's a verb which means the opposite of love. Part B. Look at some more pairs of words. How do you pronounce them? Bit, bite, cut, cute, not, note, plan, plain. Now read them out loud without me.
Three 3.18. 1. A. It's a verb. It's the opposite of lose. B.
It's something you drink. It's alcoholic and it can be red, white or rosé.
2. A.
It's an animal which people have in their house. For example, a cat.
B.
It's the short form of the name Peter.
3. A. It's an adjective similar to crazy. B.
It's the past tense of the verb make.
Three 3.18. 1. A. It's a verb. It's the opposite of lose. B.
It's something you drink. It's alcoholic and it can be red, white or rosé.
2. A.
It's an animal which people have in their house. For example, a cat.
B.
It's the short form of the name Peter.
3. A. It's an adjective
similar to crazy.
B.
It's the past tense of the verb make.
Part D. How do you pronounce the words below? Just try to pronounce them, then listen and check your IDs.
.19 Kite, bin, stone, tap, grapes, mug.
Part 5. Speaking, communication, split crossword. Ask your partner for definitions to complete your crossword. Here we go again. We aren't in a classroom, and you don't have anyone to practice with, so let's do it differently. I'll show 2 crossword puzzles. You can just define these words on your own. For example, do you see the word cinema there? You can say something, cinema is a place where you go to watch a film and eat some popcorn. Try to give definitions to the other words in the crosswords. That's a good task to do. I wish you good luck with it. Of course, it's better and it's funnier to do this task with someone, but we have a video lesson, so let's do it just like this. And now, let's have a look at your homework tasks.
.5 3C Pronunciation 1,
What do you think of my hat?
2,
Sandy's got a cute cat.
3,
I really hate being late for work.
4,
I think we're going to miss the plane.
5,
I cut my finger this morning and it really hurts.
6. Can I change this £20 note for 2 tens? 7,
That's a good plan. Let's do that.
8,
Don't worry, my dog doesn't bite.
9,
This exercise is not as easy as it looks.
10,
This word is a bit difficult to spell.
Так, match the sentence halves, то есть соотнесите половинки предложений. Типичное здесь задание. That the church — это та самая церковь, где мы поженились, да? Так, I need a phone. Тут, скорее всего, switch идет. Which has a good camera. То есть мне нужен телефон, в котором есть хорошая камера. My mom is the only person. Моя мама единственный человек. Тут нужно who. Who remembers my birthday. О, грустное предложение. То есть моя мама — это единственный человек, который помнит про мой день рождения. Так, I love the picture. Мне нравится картина. Получается, who painted the milkman? Нет. Which is on your bedroom wall? То есть мне нравится картина, которая висит на стене спальни. Так, тот самый автобус, точнее, тот автобус — это тот самый, получается, который идет на вот эту Трафальгарскую площадь. Это B. Так, Glastonbury is a place. Это у нас это место, где, музыкальный фестиваль. Тут больше у нас просто со словами «где» нету. Так, Vermeer is the artist. Это художник. Это из нашей прошлой темы, который нарисовал эту у нас доярку, milkmaid. Так, and that's the restaurant. Это тот самый ресторан, который which has the fresh fish, в котором есть свежая рыба. Здесь у нас так. Так, такое вот упражнение получилось. Довольно прикольно, кстати. Я вот люблю вот эти which, who, where. Мне нравится прям. Так, окей, идем дальше. Часть B. Обведите в кружок правильные слова. Вы знаете того мужчину, получается, который живет рядом. Which у нас все-таки не с людьми, who с людьми, which со всем остальным. Поэтому здесь who. Дальше идет. Это галерея. Не которая, а где. Если был бы which has, тогда ладно, или просто which had. А здесь имеется в виду они. То есть это галерея, где у них есть Леонардо да Винчи выставка.